Welcome back to part two of the Batman retrospective today. Um, and hopefully without any issues. So let's begin. We have Fear Jason and Rokan back, and I'm as usual
Hey
joined
guys.
by Mar.
What's going on? Yes, well, it wasn't originally supposed to be a part two, but we couldn't stop talking about the brilliance of Batman and Robin, so it turned into a two-parter stream. So we have to give her a special stream towards the Dark Knight. Well, we'll probably talk about the Dark Knight again because we got caught off in the middle of it. But the Dark Knight Rises, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder just like deserve their own stream anyway, and their own kind of. They shouldn't
Yeah.
be in the same bread as Batman and Robin. So if anyone asks, it was a strategic plan from us. But good to be back, and Jason, good to have you. Rokan, good to have you again. KC, good to have you as always. And Batman reviews are out, and it's good so far.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool reviews. I've also seen a lot of mixed reviews and bad reviews. So it's good to see that. It's always interesting to see that some people don't like it, and I'm always interested in what parts they don't like, because I think a lot of people just um, are primed to love this stuff, so they might be a little biased when giving their reviews. So there's always good when there's balance, and there are people who might objectively view it, and also there are biased people who have the opposite bias for that, which they never like anything DC makes or something like that, right? So yeah, it's always cool to see what how a film impacts the audience when it releases. That's interesting to me. That doesn't change my opinion on what the film is and how I should perceive it, but it's just interesting to me in the cultural context how the film is received. So yeah, I've been seeing some of the reviews and they've been mostly good, and even the Rotten Tomatoes. I think the score currently is at 87%, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how far it goes down because it's already dropping after being 91 earlier today. So, but of course, with the more reviews, the more chances of it dropping as well because different critics. But still a high score for it's. Well, the embargo only lifted a few hours ago, so it's still terrific.
It's higher than what I expected. I was actually expecting it to be around in the 70s or 80s max, but 87 is
Like,
pretty high up there for my expectations too.
It could get there. It could get there when Twitter gets a hold, and
That's
kind of
true.
whenever said like right now, it's hard to kind of put a narrative around the movie because critics are coming out. Look, you don't want to be that critic to say it's terrible when everyone else is kind of But when Twitter
Right.
gets a hold of it and that reception gets around, and kind of, I think reviewers sometimes shape their actual review on what people are saying online at times as well. So you could see a shift, but we'll see in a few days. But yeah, it's a good sign. If it was 40%, then we'd all be worried. But so
Yeah. So yeah, let's jump into Dark Knight. I believe I already completed my part yesterday. So let's go with you guys.
Well, yeah, just to give everyone a kind of a recap, the film made I think 1.1 billion, or Rokan, you can check that maybe if you want. Around that, like it was the height. Like we talked about Batman Begins and the insane box office jump into The Dark Knight was just, I don't think anybody would have seen that coming. It just jumped up from like 200 million around that range to
Yeah,
a billion.
it was 1.1 billion.
Yeah, 1 billion from like the Batman Begins, which was like 260 or 290 or something like that. So, like that's crazy already. But as I said, for me, it's the pinnacle of the comic book genre. It's one of the greatest movies of all time, not just comic book movie. Thanks to Jared Leto, Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. I think this is a perfect movie. Not just comic book. The pacing is fantastic. It looks like it came out today, and for me, it's my favorite comic book movie of all time, ever. And no movie is yet to reach it. Maybe the Batman will. I don't know, but Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight for me is just it's the cream of the crop. Rokan, if you want to, I don't know if you said anything last night about it. Just go again.
I haven't said anything, so
go ahead.
All right, so yeah, The Dark Knight. I mean, what else can you say about it? When people talk about, the great sequels, the ones that are always brought up are, are Empire Strikes Back, Godfather 2, and The Dark Knight. Like people say, oh, it's the Dark Knight of, this or the Dark Knight of that. So, it does what a sequel to a great first movie should do, which is it ups the stakes, it ups the world, and it goes deeper. Batman Begins was all about somebody learning how to be a hero, learning how to get that moral fiber that Batman has. When we get into Dark Knight, it's literally about that moral fiber being put to the limit, which is kind of like what you want to do. And I remember the movie obviously has probably one of the most iconic performances in movie history with Heath as the Joker. I mean, it's a I call it a once in a lifetime type of performance. Like, you're not going to see anybody else do anything like that ever again. And it's funny too, because I remember when he was cast as the Joker, there was obviously so much blowback towards it. And to be honest, I was one of those that didn't like the idea of Heath Ledger as the Joker. I'd seen him in like 10 Things I Hate About You and The Order and Knight's Tale. And, I'd heard that they were going to get Adrian Brody as the Joker, which I was like, okay, they're going to go for like a really dark and creepy Joker. I was like, okay, I'm into that. And then Heath Ledger comes out and you're kind of like, the dude from A Knight's Tale is going to be the Joker? I was like, what is he going to do? Is he going to be singing "We Will Rock You" to Batman? You know what I mean? Like, I was, because he was just known as the dude in teen movies. I mean, granted, at the time, I hadn't seen his dramatic stuff like Monsters Ball or Brokeback or anything like that showed his full like acting range. But at the time, that's what I had known him for. So I remember when I saw the first image of him as the Joker and his Joker voice that you hear in the teaser, I was kind of like, okay, maybe. I was like, okay, we're going for a grungy, dirty Joker. I was like, I think I can roll with this. And then when I saw him in the movie, you're kind of like, it's amazing, incredible. I think it's a great movie. The only thing I don't like, I do wish that they could have done better, is Harvey Dent as Two-Face, because I always like the big bad horror, multiple personality aspect of Harvey Dent. Like, that's something that they touched on in the animated series and in Long Halloween, and they don't really touch on the big bad horror aspect of Two-Face, which I wish they did. So that's just the only thing I wish they could do better. Also, one last thing, the movie got me into loving IMAX photography, because they'd never done IMAX for like a feature film before. It was always for documentaries, and this is the first movie that they used it for a movie, and you watch the IMAX sequences, even on Blu-ray, they look amazing. So
That's true.
That's all I will say about The Dark Knight. Just, it's an incredible, well-made not just Bat movie, but just a movie in general. And I agree, it is the pinnacle of comic book movies.
Yeah, and I still can't get over the pacing of the movie. It's a smooth movie.
Hans Zimmer is also a big part of that.
I think
absolutely.
so. Yeah, I do. And of course, we talk about the directors, we talk about the actors, but the editing team, everyone involved made the movie, obviously, but they contributed to it being, for me, the best comic book movie of all time. And I just love how crisp it looks at times. Like, it just came out this year, and I can only imagine, like, it looks that good on my TV here. I've never seen it on the big screen. I can just imagine how more insane it looks on the big screen.
Oh, dude, it looked incredible on a theater screen, man. It also has one of the best theatrical experiences I've felt, because I remember we got to the truck flip, and everybody, the whole audience, literally just said, like, at the same time, "Whoa!" Like, it was awesome. I'd never had like an experience like that before in the theaters until that moment. So
I always love when he's on the is it the tumbler or the bike? He's on the
Bat Pod.
The Bat Pod. He's going towards Joker, and Joker's like, hit me, and he wanted Batman to kill him to break his rule, kind of, and then Batman just pulls out last second and just falls to the ground. But I loved how Jim Gordon was kind of he was disguised as one of the SWAT team, Yeah, I was able
Yeah.
to turn the tables on Joker, and Joker wasn't expecting it. And then like the interrogation scene with Batman is just, oh, I love that scene so much. And then with Joker breaking out as well, telling the guy like how many of your friends did I kill, and then the Joker's just like just toying with him. It's fantastic. Jason, what's your thoughts on The Dark Knight?
I love this movie. Perfect shot, everything done perfectly. Only gripe I had with this with the Batman voice.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like everything's perfect except with the voice. Kind of,
Yeah.
even though everybody knows him, kind of, he still sounds like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because people make fun of it, but it was
Yeah.
Bale's own stamp
People
on it,
make
I
fun of it
suppose.
now, and even I find it very cringe. Like while watching the movies now, I do find it very, very cringe right now. But I remember at that time,
Joker tracks.
yeah, at that time, I remember
Ricochet.
everyone loved it.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone loved
that's
that,
true.
and
I
everyone was
suppose,
talking like that.
yeah. Well, like suppose like every other Batman that came before that was just talking in their normal voice. They didn't really
Yeah,
add anything to it, and Bale did, and maybe
yeah,
that's why. But it's just funny at times. He's standing there, his mouth's just open. He's just like,
yeah.
like where is she? Well, nobody else will have a voice like that ever as Batman. So
Yeah.
maybe Bale was right.
No, and it's funny how like that is now like when people talk about like the Batman, like the things they rank off the checklist is how's the Batman voice sound. But before nobody had that criteria. Then after Bale, they were like, all right, we gotta know what his Batman voice is.
Yeah,
And so many
Ambition.
better movies
And-
came out of it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
mimicking him.
And thanks to him, also we know what a Batman voice should not sound like. So any new Batman coming out will definitely not do that. you know. So that's one good thing about that.
Hello, guys.
Yeah. Hey, is that your brother?
Hello.
He's a dickhead. He was asking me, can I come on? Can I come on to say hello? I'm like, no, we're talking about something very seriously here. Here, it's the Dark Knight. I actually have the box set, the trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and inside comes, or I think I have a book. There's a book that comes with it, and here it is. So
By
they
the way,
get,
I like the action figure behind you.
oh yeah, that's Christian Bale's Batman actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his signal as well. So this book, and it kind of goes through the art and the making of. So you got behind the scenes shots of Nolan.
Nice.
If you can see that, how they
I
made the
have the
suit.
same one when the Batman Begins one.
Yeah, this is all three of them together. I think
Oh,
how they
Nice.
made everything. There's Batman Begins, so that's awesome. And the box set, I don't know what you call it, but like it's shiny. You turn it one way and it's the Batman Begins logo, and then if you turn it the other way, it turns into the Dark Knight logo.
The lithograph one, yeah.
Yeah, and then it turns into Rises. It's pretty cool. So
Nice. All three of them?
yeah, all three of them. So if you turn it this way, it's like Batman
cool.
Begins, and then it gets to Rises. It's awesome. But
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
I do love this trilogy so much. But the Dark Knight for me is the best of the trilogy. I think the Dark Knight is so good. It kind of weakens Batman Begins for me, and it weakens Rises for me. It's not as good as the Dark Knight. But
A lot of people say that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to add to the Dark Knight?
We guys start on the suit, comparing from the beginning.
What do you think of the difference? Then do you like it, or do you think they should have kept the Begins one?
Let's skip the beginning one. It's
Really?
like more, yeah,
It's bigger. Yeah, it looks more like a bat.
yeah. This one looked like a SWAT team with the Batman stuff on it.
Like
It's a lot tighter.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've never liked about the Begin suit was the cape holder things like right there on the neck. I've never liked that. I mean, but I do agree that the Begin suit, I prefer the Begin suit a little bit more than the Dark Knight suit. Though the Dark Knight suit has, like, I think, some of the better kind of like gadgets, like, how the grapple, like, what do they call the things on his arm?
the gauntlet.
That gauntlets, yeah, thank you. There you go. Yeah, the gauntlets. I like the fact that Batman presses a button, the gauntlets can shoot out, and Hit
Yeah.
people. I always thought that was really cool.
And the Bat Vision thing from his cap.
Oh yeah, I like
First time in cinematic history we see Batman with wide eyes.
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
looked good. I thought
It
looked
looked cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love how Lucius Fox, like, he understands this technology is like really advanced, and it like he doesn't want to like I like
Be
his
part
kind
of
of he doesn't want to be part of it. He just want to invade people's privacy and stuff like that. And I actually like
Yeah.
that kind of from him. He just wanted to step away from it, and he kind of blew everything up once Batman got to use it. But I also really like the kind of the choice the Joker gave the two ships. You want to survive, you have to blow up the other one. These are criminals. These are just normal citizens. So that was good. And then it didn't work out for the Joker at all.
Yeah,
It
that
didn't
was
work out.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then I don't know. We'll probably never know. Maybe Christopher Nolan talked about it, but I don't know if much scenes of Ledger was cut from the actual movie because he did die. And then I wonder if they didn't get to finish some shots because he did die. But I know the film was like made nearly a year before he did pass away, which was it's terrible. But I always think, what if he did survive, he could have been such a big part of Rises. Could have been such a different movie.
could have taken the Oscar.
Double back-to-back Oscars. Imagine. I wouldn't be surprised. He's that damn good. You guys probably maybe at the time when it was announced that he did pass away, what was your reaction to that, or do you remember?
I remember I was at like in an after school tutoring thing, because I was like 8th grade at the time, and my teacher would read up on news a lot as we would be doing our homework. And he's reading the news, and on his like little like smartboard, because he's like one of the first teachers that would have like a smartboard, you see the news right there, and one of the headlines is Heath Ledger dead at like 27, 28, something like that. And he went, "Oh my God!" And I was like, and I was shocked by that too. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's gonna be the Joker." And there was kind of like there was that feeling that you're really kind of like, I mean, devastated by that. I mean, like I said, I'd watched him in Knight's Tale and 10 Things I Hate About You, but also you're kind of looking at kind of like, okay, I hope his last performance in Dark Knight is something really, really special. And you kind of like walked into like Dark Knight thinking to yourself, okay, what's how's he what's the last completed thing he did that's going to leave an impact on us? And it did. You walked out of it going like, yeah, that was like I said, that was a 1 in a million type performance, and it's tragic that he didn't get to witness the reaction to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember, Casey?
Yeah, I saw him in. I actually didn't know because I didn't follow the comic book news and stuff like that online when I used to watch these movies, so I didn't know it back then. But I was watching this other movie of his called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus or something, and he died halfway through filming, and then they had to replace him with Johnny Depp. So I was watching that movie and I was like, wait, he's not the same person, and the actor changed, but it's the same character. And after watching the movie, I just went to check what was up with that. Then I got to know that, oh, he passed away, so they had to do that. I thought that was actually pretty well done, considering the circumstances, and also the movie was pretty cool. He was pretty good in it. So these are the only 2 movies I've seen him in, and I really liked what I saw.
I would say like 10 Things I Hate About You was one of my favorite kind of teen romance movies of all time.
It's good.
It's really good, and he brings something different to it as well. I also like the one with Mel Gibson, the Patriot.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie got some awesome like badass main action sequences. I won't spoil what happens, but Mel Gibson's character like is motivated to fight in this war. It's this American war that's happening, civil war that's happening, and that's Heath Ledger's amazing in that. There's Brokeback Mountain, of course, really well made movie. There's a few other ones I've watched, but I can't remember the name of them because there's small indie movies. I think one of them was made in Australia, and there's a small indie one as well. But I always loved his movies, and it's a pity he did die at such a young age. But he'd have such a big impact on movie history, not just comic book movies, but movie history because of that performance, which was fantastic. And just kind of to finish, did you guys like? I like how Nolan, Matt Reeves will probably do it more, but I like how Nolan had Scarecrow in each movie. I like that. I think
Yeah.
there's a kind of a connective tissue of the villain.
I mean, look, more Cillian Murphy I will take. So I always loved seeing him come
It's
back.
a Nolan movie. It's like a package with him. It's like a
Yeah,
package.
Yeah.
has to.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's also like the Arkham games. You know how some of the villains are just in the background and they're not the main
Yeah.
focus. But it's also cool to have them there. So he was like that. Even though, as how Scarecrow should be, as massive, that villain should be, it was not that much used, but it was cool seeing him again and again.
Oh, yeah.
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 Do you guys? One of my favorite shots in the movie is when Maggie Gyllenhaal's character has died, and Batman is there at kind of the building where it's destroyed, and his head is down and his cape is in the wind,
Right.
and that's a brilliant shot. And the other shot where he's just in his apartment holding his cowl, looking at it, and then Alfred can't tell him actually what her decision was going to be, which was going with Harvey Dent.
That's
But
very brilliantly shot.
yeah,
I thought it was going
brilliant.
to be the other way, and the reveal happened.
Oh yeah. We all thought he would save
Right.
what's her name, Maggie Gyllenhaal's character.
Rachel? No, Rachel.
Rachel,
was the
yeah.
first one.
Yeah. That's all.
Rachel, it was Rachel. They did
Yeah.
a recast. They did a
Oh,
recast.
Katie Holmes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the reason they recast that? That's the part I remember. They recast her.
I don't remember either.
They recast Katie Holmes because Katie Holmes had signed on to do like a heist movie with like Diane Lane. It was called Mad Money or something like that. It was nobody saw that movie. That
Talk
was
about
like,
life choices.
yeah.
Jesus
Miss
Christ.
opportunity.
So she signed on to that, and apparently, I mean, this is rumored, but yeah, the official statement was that scheduling thing. But apparently, she also didn't appreciate the fact that Rachel died in midway through the Dark Knight. So I guess that was apparently. But yeah, so lo and behold, they got Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is funny because Jake, or her brother Jake Gyllenhaal, was one of the final auditions for Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no one likes those
snake.
Gyllenhaals apparently.
I was just reading about that earlier. Henry Cavill was one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
crazy.
imagine Andrew Cavill is.
Yeah, he was like 20 at the time, I think.
Didn't
Bale was
Maher
29.
also audition for Batman for Zack?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Did, yep.
but it's kind of if
Which-
these guys ever get auditions, they're probably liked by the studio, and that's why they always kind of get a big role down the line as well.
Yeah.
That's why I think Armie Hammer, if he didn't get in trouble, I think he would have got a big comic book role because he was like in line. He was supposed to be the George Miller's Batman, I think, for the Justice League movie. Then there was talks of him replacing Ben Affleck that time as well when the rumors were going around. So I think he would have been like something like a Green Lantern or one of those big kind of comic book characters down the line. But he ruined it for himself. But just Henry Cavill, he got Superman in the end, and he was supposed to be in 2006 Superman Returns as well. He got auditioned for that, but eventually he got Man of Steel, which is a better movie, of course.
Yeah. The suit on that one looks pretty dope on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He looks good in anything. I think he look good in a trash bag because he's just so
He makes it
good
work.
looking. Yeah, we're all jealous of his good looks, but
Sure.
yeah. So that's all we have to say about The Dark Knight, which came out in 2008. I can't believe how well it looks to this day. And then we move on to 2012.
Batman v
Dark Knight
Superman.
Rises. The Dark Knight Rises. We have to respect the trilogy and all Batman movies. And no, this is the first Batman movie I got to see in cinemas. And at the time, I'll admit this, at the time I didn't know much about movies or like who was playing each character, the trilogy, stuff like that. Went to go see Dark Knight Rises. Me and my bro loved the movie. Thought it was fantastic. Had so much fun with it. Then the ending came where it was revealed that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was named Robin. We were like, oh my god, he's named Robin. And then, of course, it ended with him finding the Batcave. And then me and my brother were like, I can't wait to see the next one when he becomes Batman. Then I go home. I think I went to Wikipedia or something like that. And I was reading up and like, oh, there's been 2 other movies. Okay, this is the end. This is the end. Wait, this is the end. And then I was like, this is the end. We watched the last one. There's 2 more to watch. So he's not coming back. No, he's not coming back. That's the end of it. I was like, okay. So I'm still waiting for the Joseph Gordon-Levitt Batman Rises movie or Batman Returns movie or whatever it would be called. But that was my experience with that movie. Before I get into it in great detail, KC, what was your thoughts on The Dark Knight Rises?
Make Dark Knight Returns. We should get that hashtag going.
yeah, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
But yeah, I look. At that time, I really, really loved the movie, and I actually thought it was better than The Dark Knight at that time because it was such a grand scale movie, and uh, it was kind of funnier. It was more fun. It was darker in some ways because Batman was broken, and you had this one huge Bane guy just terrorizing Gotham, So it was pretty good, and that field scene where that boy is singing and the whole thing just goes down. It was pretty good, man. Like I really love this movie, and the only issue I had with this, and obviously the entrance of Batman in this movie is one of the best ones. Like how in the tunnel the lights turn off and then he enters. That's one of the best scenes ever. And yeah, overall I did love the movie, but the only thing again with this movie, it just highlights it even more because they do it on a bigger scale, is the stupid fight sequences at the end. And it just doesn't feel like Batman anymore. It just feels like 2 cosplayers fighting. And
the way they set that up, it looked like they were going to have a massive fight down
Right?
John Wick style. Yeah. It was only a few punches, and then they went inside. They went inside.
Yeah. But then apart from that, everything else was pretty good. And the scale again was like it was a Nolan film. You could tell. And even the opening with the Bane scene in the plane and all that. The ending with the bat plane or whatever that was called at that time. Batwing, maybe.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat. Yeah, I like that scene too, where it comes out of the alleyway. That scene was also pretty funny. But yeah, I did really enjoy. Oh, and one more thing, this movie has one of the worst deaths in comic book history.
He died from love. He died from love.
So let's just ignore that one. But yeah, the ending of this movie also I really liked. Like you mentioned, the Robin thing, and before that, you had his retirement and the Alfred scene. It was pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, I'm surprised it gets as much hate as it does online. Maybe it's just Twitter. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
because of Dark.
Maybe general
people expect
because Dark Knight
it has to be as good.
I thought Dark Knight Rises was more like a psychological movie for Batman. Getting out of that prison, that weird prison, like his broken back, being too old, dealing with the death of Rachel, dealing with what her decision was when he found out that, dealing with the implications that the Joker made for Gotham City. Like, this is all happening because of the Joker. And I love how that, even though they couldn't bring in Heath Ledger and stuff, I love how it's actually a direct sequel to The Dark Knight. It is, because but then he also ties in Batman Begins to it as well because of Ra's al Ghul. But I think it's a very personal Batman movie, and I thought that it was the most personal one we've seen of Batman. Probably maybe Batman v Superman takes out even more because of the Martha scene and his parents with the Wayne Manor being destroyed and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm surprised it gets as much hate, and I think it's a really good movie. It's not as good as The Dark Knight, but it's a really, really good Batman movie. And I love the shot where right out of the comics where Batman gets his back broken by Bane. He just brings him down. Like I was looking at that comic recently, and yeah, it's just shot for shot. It's really cool. But yeah, I think it's a solid movie. What's that?
Catwoman was also good.
Oh yeah, Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. Yeah, she was solid, and she looked terrific as well. Like she was able to do the. That's actually a good scene where they're on top of the roof and they're fighting some goons.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like. That
I
one.
don't know about that.
I like it.
The only thing I
like
don't see the hate on
The-
here.
The background people just fight themselves and fall down in that scene.
No, but Batman looks cool.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I'm surprised Bale because he's so into his roles. I'm surprised he didn't like demand better action sequences from Nolan or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
But Jason, what's your thoughts on Rises?
I liked it. The certain parts is like kind of let down from the previous two, especially the fight scenes. The big bro, it's like a Comic-Con when it's like a Comic-Con with Batman stuff in it. You know how the fight breaks? It's like a Comic-Con gone wrong.
Comic-Con gone wrong.
Yeah, that and and how Batman got a cheap shot on him by punching that little thing on Bane's mask. That's how weakens him out. He had an opportunity to do better fight scenes, I know, but this got one cheap shot into his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And the weirdest way she died, Talia, it looked like a high school play. Like everybody got staring at him with a blank stare, and she's like,
yeah. Jesus, Jason, you're tearing apart. You weren't this critical on Batman and Robin. Yeah.
I mean, she's a good actress. She was awesome in Inception.
I didn't expect her actually to be the villain at the end of the movie, controlling Bane. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? I thought some parts of it dragged, especially when Batman was kind of in rehab in the prison, and then it cuts back to Gotham City, and Bane is like in control, and then the Scarecrow is like the judge and sending people to the ice, the broken ice. And that kind of part dragged a little bit and stuff like that. But yeah, it could have either cut it down or just put more like Bane doing cool shit into it or something like that. Rokan, what's your thoughts on Rises?
I like Rises a lot. I think it's really hard to do the third movie in your series. I mean, that's why after Dark Knight had come out, Nolan was heavily resistant on coming back because he had said that there's a greater track record of bad third movies in a franchise and good ones, which is true. I mean, for every Return of the Jedi, Return of the King, or Last Crusade, there's X-Men 3, Spider-Man 3, Alien 3. You know what I mean? Like those types of that type of track record. And I remember even like seeing all the fan art throughout the years, like, and people saying, "Oh, Johnny Depp, should play the Riddler. Angelina Jolie should play Catwoman, and they wanted Kristen Bell to be Harley Quinn as well."
Really?
Which I mean, granted, this is like around the time Veronica Mars was everywhere and Sarah Marshall, so she was like, Kristen Bell was like in the mainstream. So yeah, so kind of like getting into Rises and how like Nolan said that he's gonna get the British dude from Inception to be Bane. I was like, wow, Bane. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're going to take Bane back after the Idiot and Batman and Robin, and so like seeing Rises though, I was so satisfied with the way it wrapped everything up, because I mean like I said, it's hard to conclude it's hard to conclude anything. I mean, so the fact that they were able to wrap it up in such a neat little way, I couldn't be more satisfied. I will say though that this was the Batman movie where Bale's voice went from sounding ridiculous to sounding comical. Like I would burst out laughing, especially when he's demanding for the trigger and everything like that. Like I laughed pretty hard in the theater, and it's even more funnier when he's talking side to side with Tom Hardy's Bane. Like, the movie reminded me of that film Assassins. You remember seeing that? Remember that Stallone movie Assassins?
Yeah.
It's like to me, it reminded me of Assassins when you hear Stallone and Antonio Banderas just going back and forth. It was like that, but with Batman and Bane.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to make a grounded movie, and when you get the idea across to the audience that this is a grounded movie, seeing two guys dressed up in costumes does get a little bit ridiculous because of how grounded the movie is. These Batman v Superman, there's aliens, there's spaceships, there's shit like that. But here it's a grounded. It's supposed to be our world. But then these guys are dressed up as what?
Yeah, and when the voices come out, especially Bane being like, "Oh, you think doctors is your ally?" It gets. I mean, it's fun. It's fun when it's fun, but it doesn't hurt the movie at all for me. But it's just fun to kind of make fun of that. But I do think Rise is a great ending to the series. Also, I just want to say for the record, I was so glad that they were able to make even the Lazarus Pit work because, the Lazarus Pit, obviously, like Fountain of Youth, you come out, you're rejuvenated. And this, it's like the Lazarus Pit is a prison. You come out of that prison, your soul is rejuvenated. Yeah. So I like that they did that, kind of like their take on that. And also, I saw the movie in IMAX at midnight, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
I always the twist, because Batman's being told this story about this kid who escaped the pit, the prison, and we're meant to be believed that it's actually Bane did it. That's why he's so strong and powerful. He's the only one who's able to do it. That's why he's looked at as this kind of unstoppable being. But it's actually Talia.
Yeah.
Did you guys like that twist about her being the villain, kind of controlling Bane? I thought it was like, he's in love with her. I don't know if it was like a sexual love, but I think it was more like maybe it was
like a brother,
brother, sister,
love. Yeah,
something like that. Maybe he looked at her as kind of like a mother in some way. That's the kind of love I got from Elena. But did you guys like that? For me, it was kind of underwhelming a little bit.
I saw it coming because I did see the set photos of her walking out and going into the Batmobile, and she was wearing the same League of Shadows garb that Ra's al Ghul wore. So I was looking at that. I'm kind of going like, all right, she's probably Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
And even throughout the movie, like when the prisoner's recounting the story, I'm sitting there in the theater, kind of going like, all right, well, I don't think she's Talia al Ghul because I would make her and Bane brother and sister. I don't think they would go in that direction, because Batman thinks Bane's his son at that point in the movie. Never did I think that Talia al Ghul was the child that got out. And then after it, I was kind of like, all right, she's Talia al Ghul. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a pasty white Talia al Ghul, but still, it's just Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
And then did Bane helped her get out that time out of the pit.
Yeah.
But he got beat up as well. He got beat up.
Yeah.
Bane has just got. Yeah, and Bane has just got beaten up his entire life. He's not even that scary.
Yeah.
And every time he gets beat up, he just turns into a wimp, and he just can't fight anymore. So
I mean, he single-handedly was terrorizing Gotham the whole movie.
Yeah, I'm just saying we got to see him. Batman just sucker punched him and just stopped him, and then I don't know. He was a good villain, but
and all he does is sits down and goes, "I broke you. How did you come back?"
Yeah,
that was also cool with Ben Mendelsohn. Do you feel in charge?
Yeah.
With the hand like on top of him.
Yeah.
Wayne Industries has cost us a lot of money.
Are getting flashbacks.
I remember I was making a joke on Twitter using that GIF. Do you feel in control, whatever it is? And because we're supposed to all go to SnyderCon together, and people online can be mean to each other, they don't even know each other and stuff like that. But you have these rivalries and stuff, so these people don't like me and I don't like them. So I was like, I had this idea. I was like, I'm going to go around SnyderCon with a camera asking people who call me a clown, do you feel the same way in person that I'm right here? You want to say it to my face? Like in a messing, joking type of way, documentary, a fun mockumentary. And people took it seriously that I used that GIF. They thought I was actually threatening their lives by using the Bane GIF. Do you feel in control? I'm not going to snap your neck, guys. I was only having a joke. This was a cool GIF. But just be careful what you give. People take it seriously on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there any other shot? Is there a type of shot you guys like about the movie?
Oh yeah,
Any-
when Batman returns to light the bat signal.
yeah.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
build up to the score was perfect. Like
Yeah.
gives me chills every time I watch that part over and over.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you see the bat signal, you hear the hands like that.
Light it up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite shot is actually when he gets out of the prison. You see him walking down the hills right there, and the Batman theme is playing. Like I just think it's a great shot because it looks great in IMAX, and you really feel like that. Yeah, exactly, and you feel like he's become Batman again.
Yep.
Do you want Casey?
Yeah, I would say still the entrance of Batman in this movie, after being retired for so many years or so, he just comes back in that way and just chases that person, then gets caught. It's just amazing.
I like the kind of ending shot where, well, his ending shot is Batman, where he goes off with the bomb into the middle of the ocean, and then it kind of blows up. I like that shot. It's very heroic, and I actually thought he was dead. And then we get to see him, of course, in the cafe in France, is it, or Italy? And he seems to be okay then. Maybe Michael Caine was having a dream. We don't really know.
Surprising the radiation didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Of the bomb.
Yeah. It could have been a fantasy dream he was having or something. I don't know, but I think they confirmed that he's alive. But...
That was the scene where, for me, it was, the start of that thing where if you don't see a person die on screen, they're not dead. That was definitely the scene that started it for me.
Yeah, I mean, Bane brings it up in the movie, like they say, "Oh, Gordon's dead," and he goes, "Then show me his body."
Yeah. 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 You know, I think. Do you guys think he's alive then? Yeah. Do you think
he's alive?
Yeah.
He's alive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I seen some theories online that he's not alive. That's what Michael Caine's character wanted to see, but I think they confirmed it as well. I think Maggie Caine was like, well, he's right there. He's sitting right there, so he's alive. But we'll move on to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Finally.
Yes.
Let's go.
Came out in 2016. I think, well, famously, it only made north of 800 million, not a billion, as people love to remind you online. But I think through all the Blu-ray sales and all,
the Ultimate Edition would have.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it was profitable. That's all. It was.
Yeah.
Well, also, if it didn't come out in fucking March, and if it actually came out in the summer
before Civil War,
yeah,
nice. And especially going up against a Marvel movie, Civil War, which was kind of the same team, and Marvel at their time as well. March was a weird time for that movie, to be fair. But then we actually are getting the Batman in March as well, so who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I went to go see it open night, so excited for this one. I didn't see Man of Steel in theaters. I bought Man of Steel on DVD and I watched it in full. I seen clips of it online, or not online, on TV and stuff, of the fight sequences. I didn't like Man of Steel at first, just watching small snippets of it, because the action scenes were like like anything I've never seen before, like the fast-paced kind of just all over the place kind of stuff. I wasn't a fan of it, but I wasn't big into movies that time either, But the reason I'm talking about this is because I got excited for Batman v Superman because it was Batman. I'm a big Batman fan. And I was actually one of the people when Ben Affleck was cast. I was excited to see him in the role. I actually thought this is like, I didn't have any gripes with it. I was like, oh, cool, Ben Affleck with Batman. And then I started reading more stuff about the production online. And then I started learning more about Zack Snyder. Oh, Zack Snyder, he did Dawn of the Dead, because that's the first DVD I ever bought. And I love zombies. I'm like, oh, he did Dawn of the Dead. That's cool. Oh, Watchmen. Okay, cool. Then I watched some of his other movies as well. So then before Batman v Superman came out, Man of Steel was there, and I bought it and home watched it. And I was like, oh, it's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. So I was excited for going into Batman v Superman. I went to go see it opening night, and I absolutely loved it. And I actually still like the theatrical cut of the movie, because that's my first experience of the movie. I thought there was nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Of course, the Ultimate Edition is better because there's more scenes and stuff like that. But now I will only watch the Ultimate Edition because it's a better story, and it's 3 hours, of course. But I loved the movie. I thought it was amazing. The theater was packed, and I was kind of sad to see the online reception to it because I did watch Collider at that time, Collider Movie Talk. Like I watched that every single day,
Yeah.
and like my love for movies and for Batman and Zack Snyder kind of weighed a bit because every single day it seemed like these guys had a topic about how a negative topic about Zack Snyder or Batman v Superman instead of actually talking about the movie. And so like I stopped watching those guys then after a while, and I didn't watch any kind of movie reviewers online at all. It was just kind of my thoughts. But a comment section on Facebook were like ridiculous of people saying it was a terrible movie. I just didn't understand. I thought it was awesome. I thought the action scenes were just like Batman v Superman was just so cool, and then Doomsday at the end, and the Justice League members cameo. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever, especially the Flash cameo. So I
Yeah.
was surprised at how poorly it was received, but I was still looking forward to Justice League. But we all know what happened there. But Batman v Superman for me is solo Batman movie. It's the Dark Knight is the best solo movie. I still think Dark Knight is the best comic book movie, but like Batman v Superman is just on a different level in terms of action and just badass coolness of it. It's a cool movie, and then I started to learn more about Zack Snyder and the world he was trying to build and stuff, and I fell in love with it. And of course, we got to see the Snyder Cut, which was brilliant. The true sequel to this movie. But yeah, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman's entrance, Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. It's a really fantastic movie. It really is. Casey, what was your first kind of experience with Batman v Superman?
Well, my first experience obviously started from knowing about Zack Snyder with Sucker Punch and Man of Steel, obviously. But I was a big Man of Steel guy, and I again did not understand the hate that movie was getting. Although I could see why it would, hit differently for different people, because it was kind of not the traditional kind of Superman that people liked. But actually, that was the first movie that I actually liked Superman, because I never liked the Superman character before that movie, because I always thought he was boring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it started from that movie, right? And obviously, it's everyone's on the MCU hype train, and we wanted to see how DC is going to build their cinematic universe. So I was following that BVS is gonna do that, the first movie to just launch DC cinematic universe, and I was so excited for that as well. Then the trailers came out, and those were like some of the best trailers in movie history.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
unbelievable!
the hype for this movie, dude. I think the hype for this movie was bigger than the reaction for the movie, and
Yeah,
everyone was invested in this movie before release, and there were marketing, full on marketing going on, and people, just big celebrities being asked, are you team Batman, team Superman, all of that shit going on. And everything leading into the movie, and then the movie came out, and I absolutely loved it. And I was that guy. I think I've said this before on this channel, but I was that guy who was going, looking at the Flash scene, and I was like, "Oh, it's the Flash from the future! It's Injustice and all that stuff." Right, when that was happening, because I was really into the Injustice games at that time. So to me, that was very interesting, because nobody does that in the movies. Even now, even to this day, that's an issue, right? Doing that kind of storytelling in comic book movies. And we know how that went after that. But it was really surprising for me to see that, because I never thought that I was getting
shit.
I never thought that I was
my
getting
iPad.
all those storylines in movies, because that is like a much bigger scale. Evil Superman was like the most trending type of Superman at that time, and everyone was just loving it. So I loved that movie a lot. And even though I felt the pacing was weird because it just skipped from scene to scene, I did understand the movie. At least in two viewings, I did understand the movie, and there was a lot of pieces that we had to put together by theorizing, like the stuff that Lex was doing behind the scenes and stuff like that, you had to just overthink about stuff in the movie and link that based on theories. But at that point, the Ultimate Edition didn't come out, right? So those things weren't confirmed, but we were awfully close with that because it kind of makes sense, and the only thing that would make sense if you try to link it. But after seeing that movie, I just saw that everyone was just hating it so bad because they were just rejecting the idea that it was even worth watching. So I was extremely surprised, and that was the first time I was like, "Wow, people really hate this movie." At that time, I don't think people realized who weren't experiencing this movie happening live. It was insane amounts of toxicity. It's not just hating a movie; it was hating on people who worked on the movie, hating on fans that were defending that movie. It was hell. Like people just talk about how toxic Snyder Cut fandom is. This is nothing compared to what it was like then. Just go onto any old BVS YouTube video and go into the comment section and just find me one good comment from there. So it was really bad, but I was one of the few people who obviously loved this because these were all my favorite things. The Everything just looked epic. The storylines were great. The costumes, the actors, the scale of the universe. The Justice League was introduced, for fuck's sake. What else do you want? You know. So I was really, really excited to see where this is heading as well, and I just love this movie. I think it's one of the best comic book movies of all time. It's definitely my favorite CBM of all time. So even to this day, I just love it, and I think that this is going to be a cult classic. 10, 15 years later, or maybe more. But I do think that people will look back at this movie the same way that people look back at Blade Runner now or some other classics. So yeah, I do think there's a lot in here that many movies won't do, and this had the balls to pull off.
Yeah, for me, it's top 10 comic book movie of all time for me, and I will say Zack Snyder has a few in my top 10. But I just like his style. I like the way he does, and I think like if I grew up watching the MCU movies, maybe I wouldn't like Batmobile Chase because those movies are kind of rosy. There's not much there's emotional depth to them, but there's no like hardship to them. And I grew up watching the X-Men movies, and every single character was messed up and fucked up. The mutants, like they were looked down upon. Even the opening scene is in Auschwitz, isn't it, with Magneto? Yeah. Like, look where he came from, and then look how Angel, the character of Angel, is looked at by his dad. Look at any of the X-Men characters; they're all messed up characters that have to go through absolute shit. Toby's Spider-Man is the exact same way. He lost his uncle, he lost his parents. He can't tell the love of his life he loves her, and he doesn't want to be with her because he wants to protect her, like hardship. And that's the type of comic movies I love. And Batman v Superman was that for me with Superman, with Batman. It was the exact same thing. That's what I loved about when these things are brought to comic book movies, and that's why I actually like movies like Eternals, or I like maybe WandaVision. I like the aspects of Wanda going through mental health, because these things are real things people go through, and people lose things, and they go through terrible circumstances. And I think it's awesome to see a character who's supposed to be perfect, like Superman, go through something that every other person will go through as well. And I liked how Zack was building Superman from the ground up, the birth, the death, the resurrection, and eventually he would have been the Superman that you all love, of course. The online people, if that's what they want, the happy-go-lucky Superman. He would have eventually got to that, but he just had to go through some shit. It was a story arc. Same with Ben Affleck's Batman, and we found out that he would have sacrificed himself, and he would have had a son who would have been the new Batman, stuff like that. So, yeah, I that's why I think it's a fascinating, magnificent comic book movie, and it's I think you're right, Casey. It'll definitely be a cult classic in probably the most highest budget cult classic ever, because it did cost a lot, but I do think so. I think it'll stand the test of time more than a lot of those MCU movies that people love.
Yeah, look, I can go on for like hours and hours just
Yeah.
talking about every single thing in this movie. Like you bring up, how relatable it is, how realistic it is to real life, and how if the superhero characters just showed up in our world, how people react. And Zach held a mirror to our society, and people didn't like it. So it says a lot about the movie and what it did for people. But yeah, like I
And
said, I can go on forever, but uh, you guys tend to talk.
just the media as well, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson, real people showing up in the movie. Like
Yeah.
this is what would happen. We're like this is what would happen. But yeah, Rokan, what's your thoughts on Dawn of Justice?
So, aside from the poster right there, and I think that and the little tattoo
Nice.
here.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. So this movie means a lot to me, man. It's not just my favorite CBM; it's actually my favorite movie. Period. I love this. I love this movie so much. Getting into first off I guess we talked about our intro to Zack Snyder. For me, it was 300. I remember seeing that when I was like 13 in the theaters. And I was like, oh, wow, this movie is so cool. And then, I went and rented his remake of Dawn of the Dead. I didn't get to see it. I was a little too young to see Dawn of the Dead. So I rented that. And then, lo and behold, I started getting more into stuff, with Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Legend of Guardians, and so forth. And when I heard he was directing Superman with Nolan producing and writing it, I was kind of going like, all right, this is gonna be the most epic team up ever of directors, and it was. I think Man of Steel is in my book, it's a perfect superhero origin story movie like Batman Begins and like X-Men First Class. It does that origin story aspect properly, and you can tell when you watch Man of Steel that Zack looked at Batman Begins as a template and used that as a telling for Superman. And even the way a lot of the structure of the flashbacks are and how they relate to, the backstory of, it's very Batman Beginsy. So yeah, and then getting into Batman vs Superman, I remember when I heard Ben was cast, I was one of the people that was really championing for it because everybody online had ripped them apart because they're kind of like, oh, don't you remember Daredevil? Don't you remember Gigli? The movies he had made back 10 years ago. And I'd be like, well, didn't you see The Town? Didn't you see Argo? Did you see, State of Play? Like, movies like that shows he can act. And, he's great. I mean, he's won 2 Oscars, that tells you anything. So, yeah, and then I got lucky enough, we talked, the trailers were amazing. I remember I went to an IMAX fan event to watch the teaser trailer. And at the end, they asked us to put to write our emails down. They said, okay, when Batman vs Superman comes out, you guys will get to see it a week before everybody else does. So I got to go to an early screening of Batman vs Superman in IMAX, and
Nice.
it's one of the best. It's probably that and No Way Home rank as the best theatrical experiences I've ever had, because you walk in and you see what Zack was doing, setting up the world, creating this Batman that has lost his mind and everything like that, and then setting up the world of the Justice League. It was amazing. And then Wonder Woman coming out and everybody went nuts like they were at a rock concert. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And remember, and I remember walking out of that theater kind of going like, I gotta see this again. I gotta tell all my friends to see it. And I told my friends, I told my coworkers, I told my girlfriend at the time, you guys gotta see it. Yeah, I was telling everybody you got to see it. And I was like, people are gonna love this movie. It's amazing. You can imagine my disappointment when I saw the majority of the internet ripping it apart, treating it like it was the biggest piece of shit ever.
Yeah.
And I never understood it. And then I saw the Ultimate Edition, months later, and my thinking was, first off, the Ultimate Edition is the only version I will watch of Batman vs Superman. I love the theatrical cut, but I do think it's very flawed because a lot of things get taken out that need to complete the story. But yeah. So my thinking was, aside from the fact that it's the only version I'll watch of Batman vs Superman, was that this should have been the version that should have come out in theaters, because I guarantee you more people would have been more positive towards it. And you look at it now, people review the ultimate cut and they love it, or they'll they'll say that they changed the tune on it. I mean, even Jeremy Johns did. He posted his review of the Ultimate Cut and said, "Wow, I wish I saw this movie sooner." So
John
I think
John Schnepp as well. John Schnepp. He hated the theatrical version.
Yeah.
And then he got to see the Ultimate Edition. He was like, "They should have released this. This is a way better movie. For me, I don't think it completely changes it, but he said it completely changes it."
Absolutely. May he rest in peace. But yeah, he was completely right, and I do think it's one of those cases that if I have friends who've never seen Batman vs Superman, I always put on the Ultimate Cut, and they'll be like, "Wow, this movie was really good," and I'm like, "Absolutely." So I do agree with Casey. I do think it's going to be a cult classic. 10 or 15 years from now, people are going to look back on it and give it glowing reviews. As the case, I mean, that's why with Watchmen. I remember Watchmen got such a mixed response when it came out. Now people look back on it and they're kind of like, Watchmen is really good. So I have hope.
Stands out as ahead of his time because of how good it looks.
Absolutely. I do agree that that movie was made 10 years too early. I think if it was made now, it would be praised. But yeah, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. I love this movie so much. I especially love now that I own it in 4K in 4K. I now get the version with the IMAX scene. So it's a movie that I like Casey. If we were here, like I could literally give a fucking college thesis about how much I love this movie and what it means. But I'll just say for the record, it's my favorite It was my favorite Batman. It's my definitive Batman. I've wanted to see the Dark Knight Returns Batman forever, and I got that. It's my favorite Superman. I love how it talks about Batman regaining his soul, so to speak, learning how to be a hero. So I love it. So that's all I will say.
Yeah.
So. I can literally give a fucking call.
Hey, BC.
Hey, BC.
Hello.
Before we go to that, I also wanted to add one point about the hype that we kind of missed. So the movie first was announced by Zack Snyder himself at Comic-Con, and that is still to this day one of the biggest crowd reactions at Comic-Con or anywhere I've seen. Is like that video reveal with Martian Manhunter himself reading the line. It was just chilling, man. It was amazing.
I have goosebumps thinking about that day.
Yeah,
no kidding. Every time I want to get hyped up for anything, I don't care what it is, I'll put that video on. It's just amazing to see how it all builds up, and the lights go out, and then when the logo comes on the screen, the whole crowd just goes bananas. It's crazy.
Especially now that we know he's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Zach's the hype master. He really is. He the way he announces stuff is just
he's a fan.
Tremendous.
So he knows.
It's something that DC has lacked for me over the last few years. And it's marketing, and it's just getting people hyped for the Can you imagine if he was bringing back Michael Keaton's Batman? How much more insane the hype would be for the character. If he didn't have Affleck, that kind of stuff. But But Jason, what's your thoughts on Batman v Superman?
It was an amazing experience because my first experience with Zack Snyder was the Guardians of Gahoo. Movie.
Love that movie.
I didn't imagine him do the Superman afterwards because I was like, he's doing all animated. Then I discovered 300. Then I'm like, he can do a Superman after. Yeah. Then Superman was totally revamped for the Superman Returns. Totally revamped him. Made him more relatable to how it's you feel out of place. Then how Superman goes through. Then Batman v Superman came. It's transition from that movie to this movie. It's like a comic book flip to another chapter. How it started, how all the destruction from Metropolis and stuff.
That connection was amazing. Yeah.
Shot for shot was perfect.
Yeah.
And how they introduced Bruce Wayne going through the city and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just get that goosebumps to think about it again. The take on him was perfect. Like watching Kevin Miller's Dark Knight just pop out from the comic book. It's shot for shot. The frames, the look is perfect the same. except the other one is older Batman, like way older,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, here's the little prototype.
Nice.
Oh, dude.
Nice job.
It's
Did you
a
see the Pinterest?
fun fact. It's a miniature. Yeah, 3D printed it. It's a miniature doll. I just made it bigger. Oh my! You know the Macron action figures. It's the same thing, but I just made it bigger.
Oh,
You made
Yeah,
that.
it's scanned. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I was gonna make a bigger one, but I didn't have time to put it together.
You have Jason building his own bat suit. He's spending. Where's Jason? He's not on Twitter. He's building his own bat suit.
What's that red material on the sides? Is that how you're adhering it, the different parts together? What is that?
Yeah, it's fun though. Like to put them together. It's gonna be sanded off when I'm done with it. Because I was thinking to make a bat suit. I don't want to go crazy putting money out to make a Batman suit. But then the Batman trailer popped in and showed the whole look how it looks like. Then it gave me ideas to make it cheaper way, like using motorcycle figures to make it look like the Batman suit.
Go for it, man. Do it. Might as well. Nice project.
Come on, man.
It's gonna be worth it. For this one, I'm gonna have to do a voice modulator.
nice.
Jason, I'm getting
They already
worried now,
have
Jason.
one, but I can make it.
I'm getting worried, Jason. I think you're actually going to fight crime. You're getting a sick
Yeah.
head, you're getting a voice modulator.
Then we'll
Jason,
have to actually fear Jason.
Yeah. Oh, good one, KC. That's a good one. He is, instead of
Lives
saying,
up
I
to
am
his
vengeance, I am fear. I am fear. But Jason, do you have a favorite shot or scene from BVS?
Yeah, when Batman and Superman meet for the first time, when
Oh,
Superman
yeah.
breaks his Batmobile, Superman's all like they're looking at him. Batman had a guts to go up to him and say, "Do you bleed?"
You will.
The
Like,
audience was going crazy at that time.
Yeah, the audience was going. I kind of wish that they had saved that out of the
Or
trailer,
Yeah.
she's later.
because had they left it off the trailers and just let people realize it for real, like they're doing for the the cheer moment for the Oscars where they have the Flash, where he's going into the
Speed Force.
Speed Force. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, it would have been a cheer moment for that for sure.
I agree.
And
They
then
showed a
she left
lot
out
of stuff in the
Doomsday
trailers.
reboot
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Doomsday
Oh.
also and Wonder
They-
Woman's entrance.
like I
That's
don't
how I
mind.
lost my friends in the process.
Yeah. Like I don't mind them showing that stuff, but like for general audiences and to get hype going
Right.
and word of mouth, there was nothing really to talk about. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you won't believe what happened in the Batman versus Superman movie, but everything we've seen was in the trailers mostly. So like it was all the really cool moments. It was over marketed for me in a way to leave. But like it's actually unbelievable. We'll talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League in a bit, but like Batman v Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's so many action sequences. There's Nightmare sequence. There's the warehouse fight. There's the Batman v Superman. There's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman versus Doomsday. Like there's an insane amount of action, like massive action sequences in the one movie. Like no other comic movie has that. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League was like times two. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your thoughts on BVS?
I like the movie. I definitely like the movie. But I'm still, after all this time, I find myself defending Lex, and I don't know if I really can, because I don't know. I'm still, after all this time, up in the air about if that was the right direction to take with Lex. I don't know.
It's like a Joker to you. You
What's
get
that?
A Joker feel out. You get a Joker feel out of him.
No, I don't even. Well, I can see where people get that from it, but I don't like the take. I'll make the decision right now. I just don't like the take on Lex. I spent a lot of time trying to defend it because I was an administrator for a Facebook group for DC fans, and there were people just shooting it down and shooting it down and shooting it down, and I had to defend it. I felt like I had to defend it, and nah, I can't do it anymore. I got tired of it.
When you said
Do you
Facebook,
think it's-
I thought you were gonna say Mark Zuckerberg.
What'd you say?
When you said Facebook, I thought you were gonna say because of Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, but
Do, do you think that Brian was it a bad performance or badly written or what? Where do you think it got bad for you?
Not Malek's.
I don't know. I don't think it was badly written. I don't think you can say any of the movies that Zack was involved with were badly written. I think it was the execution. I don't know. It's like they weren't on the same page with how the direction of the character is supposed to have gone. And I don't know if they just gave him too much freedom to give his own interpretation and not enough direction of where they really wanted it to go. But I don't know. They just it didn't fit for me.
Were you more kind of like forgiving when you saw kind of like how he kind of like calmed himself down in Justice League?
Yeah, I can say that. He wasn't so over the top. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, he was given. I don't know. I think it was probably a studio note. They would kind of watered down his screen time a good bit. Maybe because there was so many characters going on. I don't know, but like, I was disappointed in the Snyder cut that he wasn't in it more. I knew he wasn't in it more anyway. But like, I really loved his performance in BVS. I thought he's like a chess player. Like he's all these different pieces, but we don't. It's not present. It wasn't. We weren't told this is what his plan. This is what he's doing step by step. You know, it was very. It was his movie, but we weren't told what he was doing in a way. And I liked how he kind of put it all together. I can understand why people got confused and shit like that. But I'm a big fan of Eisenberg anyway. But I thought it was a fun performance, and I love some of those. The red capes are coming. You know, the granny's pea jar and stuff like that. Subtle things like that were just, or the where he's the picture upside down. I love that scene with the score.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Oh,
And then at the end of the movie,
theme is amazing. Yeah.
the picture upside down at the end of the movie, then coming from the sky. Oh, I love this. I love that.
That actually reminds me, like, how do you feel like this ranks in terms? Because Hans has done a lot of, obviously DC scores. How do you feel this ranks in terms of Hans's DC scores? Because I think actually it's as good as his Dark Knight score.
I think it's the best comic book. Yeah, I think it's the best comic book movie score of all time.
Me too.
He set the bar. Definitely, he set the bar.
Yeah,
every single one is just amazing.
Exactly. If this, especially because there's Wonder Woman in here as well. But if this score didn't have the Man of Steel themes and all that, I would probably say Man of Steel or Interstellar, because I just love those as well. But since the Man of Steel theme is in this score, so I'm kind of cheating and saying that this is the best one because it has all of that.
Beautiful Lie is awesome too.
Yeah.
Well, Junkie XL was more the Wonder Woman theme, right? It wasn't. I mean, it was a collaboration, obviously, between Zimmer and Junkie XL, but it was more Junkie for Wonder Woman, was it not?
No, Junkie did all the Batman stuff because Hans was afraid that he would repeat his stuff with Nolan, so he let Junkie take a crack at that.
Oh, okay.
Plus, you can tell when Junkie takes over when Hans Zimmer's score plays in. You can hear more electronic sound out of it.
Yeah.
And drums.
Yeah. Like robotic drums.
Well, that's why I was thinking it was Wonder Woman because of the guitar riff right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's because that wasn't even basic. It wasn't really Hans. It was maybe it was written by him, but it was performed by a different cellist. So you could say Hans, but technically it's a different person. But again, it's credited to Hans, so we have to say that it's Hans.
Yeah,
it's crazy how that
team.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh yeah, he trained Junkie, didn't he? He worked on that.
Yes.
Works.
Yeah.
Junkie worked on Man of Steel as well, but he's uncredited because he wasn't involved in the creative aspect of the scores.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't use the Wonder Woman team in '84 at all, did they?
No, they did, but they did more kind of like a brass.
It was different,
version of it.
Yeah, it was a little different. That was a shame.
A lot lighter.
Yeah, it was.
I actually like the score of Wonder Woman '84.
I'm like 50-50 with that.
It's not as good as the BVS one or the Snyder Cut one, but it was a cool alternate take.
Yeah,
that's weird because
it fit the
movie.
I'll say it like this: that score fits the tone of that movie.
Yep. Although I do wish that he kept his original sketchbook themes in there, which had more synth elements like the 80s, but the
Yeah.
whole movie didn't have anything like that kind of vibe, just the starting mall scene. But I guess they pivoted away from that.
I like the movie, but I don't like the score. You like the score and don't like the movie, so I don't know how that works. But it's
I
but,
find redeeming qualities even in bad stuff.
So which is the best action scene for you guys? Nightmare, Batman versus Superman, or Warehouse? Which is the best one?
Oh, the warehouse. Come on.
The warehouse
Where
and
warehouse
the
and
Batman and
warehouse,
Superman fight.
yeah, warehouse and the Batmobile chase.
Dude, it's
Oh, yeah,
it's
but-
extremely hard to pick because I love the warehouse scene, and
perfect.
my mind automatically says the warehouse scene, but there's also the nightmare scene where Batman just takes on like so many guys.
I picked that one because it's one shot, most of it,
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
and he's just taking them all down. Richard Citrone, of course, did that.
yeah,
It looks brilliant. I would say that one because I was like, oh my god, there's so many coming, and then these aliens are coming as well, and
Yeah.
he's fighting the aliens, and an alien hits him in the back of the head, knocks him out. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
And especially,
Yeah.
man, it's shot in beautiful IMAX. When you see the whole frame on the IMAX
Yeah.
remaster 4K version, it just looks even better, man.
yep.
It's crazy. And then
Yeah,
I also
Nightmare-
love. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. The nightmare scenes makes it more unique. You get to sneak peek the whole Snyder verse inside of it, how it's gonna take
Exactly.
place later.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a tip of the iceberg, but later we're gonna see more probably.
That's a very
That-
good argument for that. But the warehouse scene, being such a fan of the
Arkham
video
games?
games,
Yeah,
the
me too.
Arkham games, come on. I mean, they took a real life interpretation of Batman, and then they took the real life interpretation of the video game and mashed it all together into a movie.
Yeah,
That's what people love about the warehouse scenes, is because they got to see somebody do the video game for real.
yeah.
Speaking of
I
the
would
video
spend-
game part,
I would spend 10 hours straight playing the games, just trying to get all the stupid Riddler question marks.
oh yeah, when I played the Arking, I put the Batfleck skin on to make you feel like I'm playing as Batfleck.
Yeah. You're Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
I also love in that when the guy is hanging upside down and Batman kicks him into the doorway,
yeah,
and then the grenade falls and it's about to blow up, and the guy tries to stop it, and then it cuts to Batman and the score kicks in and the explosion is behind them. Like that's so cool. That's
he
amazing.
gets stabbed too in that and shot in the head.
Yeah. And his grunt, and then he gets
Yeah.
up and just starts fighting.
Like
It's probably
pulls
the
it out
best
and-
Batman fight scene ever.
Oh, it's gonna be hard to top it. I don't know if Pattinson tops it when we get to see the movie or not, but I don't think it's a shame Ben Affleck never did his Batman movie, because I can 100% say that probably would have been the greatest Batman movie ever. Just him, just that
Yeah.
Batman. He was perfect. He was perfect. It was a shame, but at least we got BVS out of it and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah. The warehouse it all make it all up.
Yeah,
Like the Batman scene.
It does.
yeah.
It does.
Is there anything else anyone wants to add to BVS before we move on, or the Justice League?
What
We
do you
all like
think
the
of the-
Justice League
I-
appearances.
I just want to say,
Before we go
like,
into the Justice League one, what do you think of the Batman thing on this one comparing to the Justice League after
The team,
the
or
theme.
that was just,
the theme song of Batman?
I had no problem with it at all. I liked it. I probably liked it more than BVS than Snyder Cut.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the BBS theme, it does sound like a vigilante,
Yeah.
and whereas the Justice League theme, it sounds like a hero.
Okay.
So
Which is fitting
that's
for the story.
exactly, that's one thing that I love is probably one of my favorite aspects of Batman. It has my favorite Batman quote ever, which is the "Men are still good," speech at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
It sums up like Batman's full arc into that the whole movie's been about him regaining his soul, essentially. And when you see him make that speech at the end, you feel like he's transformed. Then we get to Justice League, it's building off of that into
Mhm.
him trying to atone for his sins.
Did I thought like I did like the Cyborg and Aquaman cameos, but they did seem a little bit like just to put them in the movie because they're setting up a Justice League movie. But I thought Flash got a lot of screen time with the Supermarket one, which was cool, and then of
Yeah.
course the time travel one, which got me pumped as well for like the future. Oh my god, he's coming from the future. What's going on? Lois Lane's the
Yes.
key. What does this mean? It got me pumped, and that's what kind of made me more sad about Zack leaving and Justice League being what it ended up being was no more Nightmare World. Like, what was that
Yeah.
supposed to be? At least we got some kind of insight in Zack Snyder's Justice League to what it would have been, which is even more crazier than I thought. But yeah, I did like the cameos. What do you guys think of the JL cameos?
Yeah, I loved how
like
they did it. It was a simple way of doing it via email, and I know people just hate on that because of the email thing and they didn't properly introduce. But I thought that in a movie where you didn't even need to do that, I thought it was a pretty good way of handling that scene.
Yeah,
I think it would be perfect show at the end of the movie, like after the credits, something when Wonder Woman just pops the laptop and sees the email and stuff.
yeah.
Something
Oh,
like that.
do you know what if I was making Batman v Superman, 90% would have been terrible because I don't know how to make movies. The ending I would have done was Bruce maybe going to Aquaman or Cyborg or Barry and recruiting for the Justice League then maybe if you're going to introduce them instead of the hard drive stuff and because their logos were already made and stuff. Who made the logos? Stuff like that.
And you're underestimating LexCorp.
Yeah, true.
People,
Yeah.
They've got a great marketing team apparently.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hardworking people, go there.
Yeah.
And also
Zuckerberg.
he's Zuckerberg, man. He hires the best people. Look, and the marketing for this LexCorp thing outside of the movie was pretty good as well. They had this Instagram and this website thing where it had the Lex OS, and it was kind of similar to what the Amazing Spider-Man movies did with Oscorp, but yeah, it was there was a lot of hype and a lot of things riding on this one movie, so it's kind of unfair as well, because the whole cinematic universe depended on this one movie.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you like the jail cameos, Brian?
I did. No, I definitely liked them, but yeah, I could see where they could have put it at the end of the movie. But Zack doesn't do post credits. He uses
True.
the opening part of the first few minutes of the next movie as his post credits to kind of tie in where he's leading. So, I hope we don't start getting post credit scenes in the new DC movies. I hope they kind of follow his blueprint, shall I say, and continue that with the movies going forward. But I think we're going to start getting post credit scenes. But no, I like them all. I think that they could have done Flash's, who's that sitting in my favorite chair? I think they could have used that to reveal Flash somewhere in BVS. I think that would have been cool. That could have fit. But who knows if that was even conceptualized yet and ready to go.
Yeah, true. Jason, did you like the jail cameos?
Oh yes. The only thing I went home depressed afterward though.
Why?
Really?
My boy Superman died.
Yeah.
Then it
I mean,
slowly sunk to me.
Superman
The
doesn't
movie, like,
die.
he had
We
to
all
go
know
like
that.
He's gonna come back.
Yeah,
I don't know. See, he died on screen. He wasn't
He did.
supposed to come back. He died on screen.
that's
die on
true. That's true. But he also
Oh.
kind of, was waking up on screen at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dirt Rising.
Oh, the Dirt Rising?
Yeah, that got me actually. I was like, he's going to come back anyway, but that was pretty cool. We probably should talk because this is a Batman stream and a Batman.
Yeah,
Batman someone else to speak.
Superman, sure.
We're talking about all the Justice League. No, but I want to just before we go on to Justice League, talk about something. Batman is the Marta moment for me. I actually never thought it was going to be such a big deal when watching it in the theaters. I was like, oh, yeah, he's struggling with his PTSD. It makes him realize that Superman has a mother. He's not just an alien, like a terrorist or anything like that. He's actually, he's more human than I am because he actually has a mother. I don't. I actually seen what Zack was going for there, and I actually thought it was brilliant. But then I go online and people are like, "Oh, they have the same name," and no. cop on. Is that where your disbelief started? Like, okay, so this guy right here is dressed up as a bat fighting an alien, but now you're going to stop and question the whole movie about it has the
Yeah.
same name as his mother? Really? Are you just a fucking idiot? I just don't understand it. Oh, Batman jumped through a warehouse and fought 25 guys, but oh yeah, you want to stop and ask about why her name is Margaret.
Out of all that, there's people
Get the-
when that's one specific thing.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. I don't understand that part.
Look, I will be. Sorry.
I want to see Maher say that at SnyderCon.
Yeah.
So you want to say something to my face because you're a fucking clown.
You want to know my mama's name? I'm gonna fuck you up. That's her name.
Yeah, man. Look,
yeah.
that's one of the. I think that's one of the best Batman scenes ever, and yet one of the most controversial scenes ever as well, because of I think, look, the execution certainly could have been better. They obviously could have done things the other way, but that's not the point. It's not the point that you could have done something else. The point was to get Bruce to realize what he was doing, right? And obviously I got that. The shot was well framed. They even fed you the flashbacks so that you could understand what was happening in his mind. So I thought it was a perfect scene. I loved it. And I'm not a big comic book reader, right? But I knew that both their mother names are Martha. I knew that, but right before that moment when Lex is throwing photos of Martha, at Superman. At that time, was when I started to realize in my head, I never realized this until now, but both their mother name are Martha, right? And that's when I started to realize, and I was like, oh, what a cool detail. And I just kept watching the movie, and that scene happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, they're actually doing this. And so
Yeah, I
even
totally glossed over it.
yeah,
I totally
a lot of
glossed over
people
it when it
did.
first
A
happened.
lot of people did. And even when I was watching, like, even until that moment, I didn't realize, like, not the scene, I mean, the photo scene. I realized then, after all these years, that, oh, yeah, shit, they have the same name. And, that I just love the scene. I can understand why people hate it. It's kind of, when you take the context out of it, it looks cheesy. It looks, stupid from a certain point of view, but for what they were doing with that scene, Terrio and Zack, I loved it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it in theaters, I actually bursted into tears because I thought it was such a powerful moment. Because I got it right away that the whole idea is that you hear Batman say, "Oh, you're not a god, you're not a man," which has Batman think that he doesn't have any human qualities. So when he finds that he's got a mother like him, he realizes that he is human ultimately.
Yeah.
So
Ben Affleck was tearing up, man, in that scene.
Yeah. Well, he's an Oscar-winning actor. Of course, he'd be able to burst into tears that way.
Yeah. Give him all the
Yeah,
Oscars. He's crying.
I was just gonna say that you can obviously see it in Affleck's face. There's an attitude change almost instantly.
Yeah.
When they have that Martha scene, because he goes from the most extreme violent person you could be, and it throws him back in his seat when he says the name.
Yeah.
He like snaps out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah.
What's the then like realize it.
It also
what I'm
triggers
doing.
the worst moment in his life, because that's the last thing he heard his dad say before he died. So that also kind of ties it in with a theme of him realizing, what am I doing? Am I the bad guy? That kind of thing. So it's that moment when he realizes that. So yeah.
But if it's the second Ben Affleck superhero movie to have him realize that he is the bad guy, or he's going to turn into the bad guy.
Yeah, and two of them have had awesome director's cuts compared to the
That is
theatrical
true.
one.
That is true.
And I own the Daredevil director's cut, and it's much better than the theatrical one. Much better.
I agree. I own both cuts.
Yeah, second one's way better. and
yeah.
so was BVS. But yeah, that's our kind of thoughts on Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And the next one is Justice League 17. It's
Stop.
We're gonna cover that.
Stop.
what?
Don't.
Get a
What?
chance.
Jeez.
No.
Wait. Batman's in it though. I don't know what
No,
you're
he's
talking
not.
about.
What movie
Who?
are you talking about?
I got Men in Black flashy thinking from that man.
Fine. Okay, we'll talk about this director's cut movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It came out last year. Whatever. Yeah. Well, look, this
I
movie
wonder
is
who
4 hours.
started that campaign.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Stop that because then people on Twitter would say, "All he talks about is the hashtag. All he talks about is the hashtag." I talk about other things. Yeah, that's whenever I'm DMing you guys. Hey, it's me, the guy who started the hashtag. Yeah, Sean, we know who it is. Yeah, we know. Oh, I'm just telling you guys. Hey, this is a 4 hour movie, of course. We all know the backstory. No point going on into that. We won, fans won. F you, suck at Warner Bros., all that kind of stuff. So, but like, there's 4
Very
hours.
astute.
We can't talk about everything because this is a Batman stream and we're talking about Batman. Because we could be here all night for 4 hours talking about Justice League on its own, which we'll do. We will do that in the retrospective when Justice League 2 gets announced. We'll go back and we'll talk about the entire Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hopefully in the future sometime. David Zaslav. That's what everyone thinks is going to happen. Hopefully, let's hope David Zaslav let's hope he gives a fuck.
Yeah, hope he has some sense.
Yeah, let's hope he understands.
If David's watching and he makes it happen, I will be his best friend.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maher.
For Nightmare Batman's sake. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I won't. If he restores it, I won't boycott anything. Yeah. I won't boycott anything because if I boycott the Batman, it won't make any money, and that's the way it works. No, but I love the Zack Snyder Justice League, of course, but I love this one because it's a complete tonal shift for Batman. But BVS, he was the villain. He was going through his PTSD. He was messed up. He realized he was the villain, and then he led to the death of Superman. And he understood that he needed to create the Justice League, form a Justice League to fight incoming threats because of the vision he had. I was right here. I had a premonition of the Flash, Barry Allen. He came to me. He told me Lois Lane was the key. He understood all of this, and it led into Zack Snyder's Justice League. And people might say it's a rewrite of the character. I don't think it's a rewrite. I think it's actually a natural progression of the character from BVS into Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he's more free. And you can see that Affleck is having more fun in the role. I'm not saying he hated Batman v Superman, but he's more free in this one because he's more like he's uplifted with the hope that this Justice League team can save the world. And one of my favorite lines in maybe cinema history when I watched it was he'll come or whatever he says to Alfred, and Alfred's like, "How do you know? Fate, Alfred, fate." Like, that's just brilliant. The score as well. They get onto the jet and they fly off. Like, that was just fantastic. Really, really cool. So I thought the action, there wasn't as cool, badass action scenes as like Batman versus Superman and BVS or the nightmare sequence with Affleck and this one. But remember, there's a whole Justice League to incorporate. There's the history lesson. There's the future timelines as well. But I thought his fighting against the parademon in the tunnels, it was pretty cool. The kick and stuff. I liked how he was actually getting difficult to fight these parademons because they are aliens and stuff. And he was getting his ass kicked at times, but he had to he put Wonder Woman's gauntlets on his arms to stop them. Stuff like that was cool. And then in the end fight, he was I loved how he was going solo. He told the Justice League, go this way. He went in the Batmobile and just went straight for Steppenwolf and the parademons. Of course, Justice League had to come and help him as well. But I did enjoy his action scenes and. Not as badass, but there's other Justice League members. But Ben Affleck was so cool in this one. I think he showed another layer of Batman that we haven't really seen before.
Yeah, and for me, I like his Bruce Wayne more than the Batman in this movie. Obviously, his Batman is badass, cool, and all that, and we've already seen that in BVS. And of course, as selfish Batman fans, we were expecting some of that in this movie, and we probably would have had that, during the parademon nest scenes and all that. But I understand that this movie could not happen the way it was supposed to happen when it initially got, um, uh, initially when it was written, the previous script and all that. So I understand that it's not to its full potential the way Snyder wanted, but what we got, I think, is a very beautiful movie. And of course, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne carries the whole movie. It's from his perspective. It's his arc, and he puts them all together. And you know, because of him, there's Justice League today, and he's the one responsible for putting together everyone. People might say that it's Flash because he came back, but remember who sent him? It was Bruce. So, yeah, he was amazing, and in his Bruce Wayne scenes, he was pretty fucking awesome, and I just loved the dynamic he had with everyone else. He he was kind of sarcastic and also very caring about the other members. And his Batman scenes were obviously awesome as well, especially when he just takes on the flying the flying fox into that
Yeah.
dome thing while fighting on that. I love that scene a lot. The music there is so fucking awesome. And then jumps onto the Batmobile and just shoots his way to
Yeah.
the thing, the nuclear plant. And
Yeah.
it's just one awesome scene after another. And by the end, his character just evolves into this awesome, wholesome character. Just um, a Batman that is a hero finally. And I think a lot of people loved that, but they just had to wait until he gets here, because apparently people don't understand character arcs. So, um, but yeah, I did love his performance a lot. It's definitely um, up there in superhero movies for me. Ben Affleck's Batman. I would love to see him, more of him in a solo movie, obviously. But since we're not getting that, I'm excited to see the Flash movie and maybe his final performance in that movie. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, because I just love his character a lot, and I think just having him elevates the movie a lot.
Yeah. I wanted to say this, I forgot to say it in the Batman v Superman part, but I'd argue that in Batman v Superman, we only see Batman, and even when he's Bruce Wayne, he's still Batman throughout the movie, especially the scene with Alfred, 1% chance. I think Batman has taken over Bruce Wayne. That's why he is the way he is. And I think the Martha moment is where Bruce Wayne comes back to the surface. And I think when he's in the suit in the Doomsday fight, it's Bruce Wayne. It's not really Batman. I think in the entire Justice League movie, he is Bruce Wayne inside the Batman suit again. That's why he's free and has this positivity and faith. But then when the nightmare happens at the end with Joker, I think Batman is taken back over again because something bad has happened, of course. And it's very telling, because why doesn't he just take his cowl off in the nightmare timelines? Nobody cares who he is. Like, nobody cares Bruce Wayne's
No
Batman.
humans around.
Yeah, nobody's around to say, "Oh, there's Bruce Wayne, he's Batman," and nobody would care anyway, because what's the way the world is. But he still wears the suit because I think Batman has taken back over his personality. I just wanted to add that in.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that before. Absolutely true.
Yeah, Jason, what's your thoughts on the movie, or Batfleck in the movie?
I like the evolve how Batman from went hardcore to kind of soft, but he grew up as a person. Like he's not moody like he was before. Now he just walks on his face, like, and how like he just acts normal, like doesn't go hunting down people. He just like just being himself, and each interaction with Alfred is like calm now than before.
Yeah.
It's before he was like all like aggressive towards him, like he wants to go do that to Superman and stuff like that. Now it's like all calm and stuff. And his interaction with the other G's like, man, what is that?
Meet Alfred. He's my master. I work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like his evolved perfect. Even his suits and everything's got evolved too. I like he got inspired by Wonder Woman, getting that gauntlet that absorbs heat. And even Wonder Woman makes jokes with it with it hit him. He got inspired, like got a we call it the lasso in black.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we call the night machine. Towards the end, when it all goes back to Batman v Superman. You can tell when he goes back to the Batman. Even the voice modulator sounds different this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's like a little higher tone than the previous Batman voice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I know it
Got to
sounds
be a
different.
little
Yeah.
more rough.
Yeah. It kind of like good thing and a bad thing. Is you can tell it's a different. The only thing that kind of confuses me, that's the timeline changes when he goes back and his voice goes back to the Batman v Superman thing towards the end.
Look, the whole nightmare timeline's a stream in itself. I love that
Yeah.
world, and I love. I myself and Casey have theories about. I'm sure you guys do as well, about multiple timelines and this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and yeah, it's a fascinating thing to think about, the nightmare world.
Yeah.
So the whole change in Batman's attitude, could it also be because we know that Zack had this 5-movie arc to develop and get us to the Superman that everybody knows and loves. I know it's a Batman stream, but I'm getting to that. So could the BVS and him being all gruff and Batman forward and then going to Justice League and becoming more mellow and toned down, is that part of the Superman transition too? Because he's realizing that he doesn't have to do it all alone and that he needs Superman to come with him and do this together. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a theme of family in Zack Snyder Justice League, and they formed a new family. So it definitely was a conscious decision, I think, because all of these were loners and working alone, and teaming up into just one big family is definitely part of the theme of the whole Snyderverse.
Yeah. Roll what's your thoughts?
I think once again Affleck kills it in Zack Snyder's Justice League. What I love about his Batman in this movie is that, while he is cautious, I mean, we talk about like the scene of him, talking about the moment with him and Barry Allen when he warns him about the future. There's still that caution that Batman has, which Batman's always cautious, but also, like you mentioned, there's still some optimism in him. Like I do like the idea that you hear him say to Aquaman at the beginning of the movie that Superman thought that we were better stronger together, and that I like that that's his mission, is to fulfill Superman's what Superman's symbol is. So I like that that's his arc right there. I also like the fact that Batman's actually funny here, and he's not like pulling out stupid ass quips or anything like that. It's actually Batman humor. Like Batman has always been, even if you look at the Justice League animated series, he's always had kind of like a dry sense of humor.
Yep.
Especially when he
that's smart.
Especially like exactly, like when he goes like I'm rich, or like even like when there's a moment when like
the satellite joke.
Yeah, exactly, the satellite joke, because the whole joke of Batman is that he's stupid rich, and I'm like, that is Batman humor.
Yeah,
and like that's how you do Batman funny. So
I bought the bank.
I like exactly. I bought the bank. Yeah, it's great piece of humor right there, and I like that. I do also really love the Batmobile chase. I mean, I know we didn't get like a warehouse style fight, but I think the Batmobile chase is pretty fucking rad.
Yeah.
Like the junky, Batfleck theme is playing, and Batman's, killing parademons and throwing them and stabbing them. I have nothing but fun with it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's like, it's once again, Batfleck just nails it. Batman. I mean, there's a reason why he is like my definitive Batman. So I absolutely love that. I like you guys mentioned, I do wish we could see more stories of him in this world. Who knows? But for now, I'm more than happy that I've seen Ben 3 times as Batman in this world, so there's that. So I love him in the role.
Guys, I gotta jump off. I got some stuff going on here at the house, so I know it was a short stay, but I appreciate you letting me come on. You guys have a good night.
Peace out, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I love how the death of Robin and Batman v Superman was such a big thing, but then he didn't completely overcome it. Of course, it still affects him, but he understood that there's more in life. There's good things there. I think even Barry Allen reminds him a lot of Robin. Do you think that could be a scenario like that kind of father figure and stuff?
Absolutely, or even kind of like when they're about to go make their last stand against Steppenwolf, and Cyborg says, Flies his nature, and Batman system, yours too. Like that is the old mentor coming out right there.
Yeah.
So
I like how his eyebrows goes up when he says that.
Yeah.
when we fly with it, like he said again. To that one line.
Flight is in your nature, and then he says,
yeah,
yours too.
Yeah. Then when Sab looks back, his eyebrows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to you?
But
I gotta.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta ask. Okay, so we've had 2 different I guess the mech suit counts, but we've had many different Batman suits throughout. Batman vs Superman and Zack Snyder's Justice League. So right off the top of your head, what's your favorite Batfleck Batman suit?
BVS.
Well, which one from BVS?
The main one.
The main one.
Okay, all right.
And a little bit with the armor. The Robocop
as well. The main suit is the definitive bat suit that we've gotten so far. But I also really love the Nightmare suit.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Quick question. Do you think that the Nightmare suit is the same one as the BVS one or the Justice League one? Or it's a different suit underneath him?
No, it's the same as the BVS suit.
Really, Jason?
You think so?
Oh. Yeah, I was thinking
Really
it was a tactic. I was thinking it was a tactical suit ended the whole time.
Listen.
Here we go.
The Nightmare bat suit just has the same top and cowl. Everything else is different. So you technically cannot say that it's the same suit because the pant is different, the shoes are different, there's no cape.
It's got a trench coat.
It's got a trench coat,
goggles,
all of that. So
machine gun.
There's a scarf.
Yeah. I love the Joker card on the gun as well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then how he gave him the card in this movie as well.
That also, I think that's a good thing you remind, because I want to bring that up real quick. So we finally get a Batman Joker scene with, right at the end of Justice League. Like, how do you feel like, because we've seen, like the past versions of Batman and the Joker, it's always been their first interaction, but here we've got 20 years of that. How does that rank for you guys in terms of the interrogation scene in Dark Knight or the scenes with Keaton and Nicholson?
Yeah. They're so different from each other.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I always wanted to see Batfleck and Jared as Joker on screen together. And I'm glad. I thank Zack so much for actually doing that for the fans. That's why he wanted to do it. So, like, I was always, like, so annoyed that we never actually got to see the two of them on screen together. Even though, funny enough, they never filmed the actual scene together. They came in different days and shot their side of it. But still, movie magic. They're in the same scene. Look, the interrogation one was just amazing. But I think the Snyder Cut one has more emotion to it. It has more consequences to it. It has more, not just as a movie stance, but also as a fan stance, because you wanted to see this. And you understand the world that came before, which was the death of Robin, 20 years in Gotham, everything that's gone on, and you kind of and when I watched the Snyder Cut, I was lucky enough to see it a few days early. That's what I tweeted. I think this is a movie scene between Joker and Batman that people will be breaking down for years because there's so much in it. Who do you think cried the loudest or screamed the loudest, the boy or the girl, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or like the card or Harley Quinn. Like, there's so much to break down. It's such a short exchange between the two characters. For me, It's probably my favorite Batman Joker interaction because of everything that we know about it and everything that we want to see about it even more, and even Batman saying to Joker, I will kill you. I need you. I need your help now. I need you for this mission that we're doing, but I will end up killing you for Harley Quinn. And I'm like, what does that mean? The boy and the girl, which is the boy? And is he talking about Robin? And like, it was my jaw was dropped when watching this scene for the first time. Jared Leto's performance for me, the chilling in his voice, just it was just a weird character, and gave me actually Danny DeVito vibes from Batman Returns, the Penguin. I was actually scared of the character. Everything about him was just weird, and just even when Superman landed, Joker was laughing and like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
You're gonna
Nightmare.
die.
He's like, what's he doing?
Calling Mira a smelly old flounder.
Yeah, it was just brilliant. He had so much
Yeah.
fun with it. And like,
He was laughing because
I-
Superman wasn't even there.
yeah. But like, I don't understand how like the executives of Warner Brothers like wouldn't see the success of this movie and these characters and just like say greenlit a Jared Leto Joker series or something like that, directed by Zack. Like, how insane would that be? Like, it would be watched. Jared Leto is a huge, yeah, we all know it, but like, yeah, I love that one so much. I think it's fascinating.
I love it. I love especially kind of like how in that moment alone, because we can't get flashbacks. We don't have movies built leading that show it. So I'm glad just in that one scene alone, you feel 20 plus years of hatred between the two of them just coming out
Yeah.
right there. It's so intense.
It's like all built up.
Yeah. Even Deathstroke's like, do you think it's a good idea bringing him along?
And before we wrap this up, we kind of forgot one more appearance of Ben Affleck, which was in Suicide Squad. And
Right.
although it's very
Oh, yeah.
short, it's worth talking about because I think it's one of the better cameos that the DCU did. And, it was a full-on scene with Batman and a full-on scene with Bruce Wayne. So I loved how the chase sequence happened with the Batmobile, the way it first comes into frame from the side drifting and goes after the Joker. He then jumps onto the car itself. Then he just glides and falls into the ocean and grabs Harley. And that shot with him just taking Harley to the Batmobile is so perfect, man. I mean, that's such a big cameo when the
That's a David
DCU,
Ayer shot.
yeah, when the DCU was connected at that time, stuff
Yeah,
like this happened.
Yeah, it's a moment in the movie that's very Batman animated series-ish to me.
Yeah.
Like, I get those types of vibes from that immediately.
Like a typical Batman episode just inside a Suicide Squad.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty much. It's awesome.
Yeah. And even
I
with
do
the-
actually.
Yeah, even with the ending with Waller, his scenes with just him being Bruce Wayne, and we see him kind of change from BVS, and he's like showing the Justice League file again. We get the Justice League tease there, and she just says you should stop working nights, and he says, my friends, you should shut this down, or my friends and I will stop this for you, and stuff like that. So that was a very huge hype moment for the DCU at that time, because all this was leading into Justice League, the big movie, right? And even after BVS, this movie was very well received. It made a lot of money at the box office. I know a lot of people hate it still, but it did well even with that version of the movie, and it still had a lot of good moments. And I would say the Batman and Ben Affleck, the Bruce Wayne moments were up there.
Yeah, and it's interesting now when you watch Suicide Squad and you line that next to Zack Snyder's Justice League, you do see kind of like the little bits of that change Bruce Wayne that you get in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I mean, for instance, he doesn't try to kill Deadshot. In fact, he even says to
Right.
Deadshot something kind of like, I don't want to do something from your daughter. He actually lets Deadshot hand himself over to the cops.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like that they were setting all that up, and also it's just so cool to see Deadshot and Batman fight.
Right. And that moment when he just glides in on top of Deadshot, we didn't expect that to happen at that scene, right? So it was a
No.
very good scene. Yeah.
And
He just came out of
we know-
nowhere.
and Batman in the snow too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I didn't expect, like I knew like from the trailers Batfleck was in it, but I thought maybe it would just be like a chase sequence where Batfleck comes out like a stunt double and stuff. I didn't actually expect Ben Affleck to be actually in it.
Yeah.
And especially in he's actually in a lot of the movie if you think about it. He's in scene with Harley, Deadshot, and then Man the Water at the end. I think there's more in the air cut that we're saying. There's a little bit more as well. But yeah, that's cool. David Ayer got to direct the Batman scene. That's a couple of Batman scenes. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
he got to interact with Harley Quinn, and I love how he comes back and he references Harley Quinn then in the Snyder Cut and the Nightmare timeline.
Yeah.
So, that's actually good. I was forgetting about that one. That's actually it's a cool scene. I would have liked a better shot action fight between Deadshot and Affleck, but I'm guessing they weren't on set the same day. It looked like that's what it was, maybe.
And also with the
just
Joker,
a bit of a shot.
there was not a single interaction with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like they didn't do something. Like I still don't know how that happens. Like you have these characters available, why not just do a cool scene with them? Maybe he wanted to keep it for. Maybe Zack wanted to do it first. I don't know.
Well, I remember like Zack's original plans for the Justice League sequels that Deadshot was going to factor into it. In fact, Will Smith was at the premiere of Batman vs Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What if? Oh man,
Henry
it's all
at the premiere of Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, they were funny enough. They were filming in London at the same time Suicide Squad premiere in London was taking place. So they probably just took a drive up the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because remember Zack did the Flash scene for David Ayer as well.
Yeah,
that was cool. But yeah, Batfleck's had some for such a short time period. He's had some awesome scenes. He's been in 3 movies: Batman v Superman, Snyder Cut, and Suicide Squad. And he'll be in the Flash movie there this year. He's had the most suits of any Batman. He's had the Nightmare Batman. He's had the tactical suit. He's had the normal suit. He's had the metal suit against Superman. He's had unbelievable suits, gadgets. He's fought Superman. He's fought criminals. He's fought aliens. Like he's had a really good run in just a short span of movies. And it's a shame we didn't get the rest of them, but he is the best Batman for me. He's my favorite Batman, and just everything about him, the size of him, just the voice of him, just the character study we got to be with that character was just perfect to me. And it's I don't think Robin Pattinson might be fantastic, but when I see Ben Affleck's Batman, I just think that's my Batman. That's my Batman.
Yeah, me
Agree.
too. And even yeah, go ahead.
I said I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, dude. Like even in the after the nightmare scene, he is the one who talks to supposed to be talking to Green Lantern, but he talks to Martian Manhunter, who is one of my favorite characters from the Justice League animated series. But that was also a very good scene, and Ben Affleck completely looked different from the rest of the movie, and he looked pretty cool. So he just is just awesome as Batman and Bruce Wayne, and I completely agree with you. Even if I like Robert Pattinson and whoever the future Batman might be after him, maybe my mind will change then. But for now, at least, Ben Affleck is the definitive Batman to me.
His acting was great when Superman dropped down in the end scene.
Yeah.
And just looking like, oh my god, that was a great scene.
He's scared out of his mind. I love it.
Oh, that's a brilliant scene. That's fantastic. And I think in that scene they all die, and then there's a different timeline. I think the Nightmare. I think there's multiple timelines from Nightmare. But
I just want to see the whole scene play out. That's Superman's laser, his point of view. I want to see what happened.
Rip out. He's tearing apart the entire team.
Probably just skeletons.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think he kills them all.
Yeah.
And probably I could see him not killing Joker because Joker's so into it, just laughing at him. Superman's like, I'm not killing this guy.
But yeah, who are your favorite Batmans? Like we have talked about Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, Christian Bale, and now we have Ben Affleck. Tomorrow, Rokan, you are seeing the movie with the new Batman. So
Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm also relieved because we've had so many kind of like, delays on the Batman, and then Matt Reeves was going to do it, then he wasn't, and everything like that. So I'm relieved to see what Matt has to do and what Pattinson can bring in. I'm more curious. I'm less curious on what Rob's going to do because I know Rob Pattinson's a fantastic actor, and I'm more kind of like into what Zoe Kravitz and Paul Dano and Colin Farrell are going to do as the villains. That's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, I'll be seeing it tomorrow in IMAX, and I will give you guys my very first thoughts immediately when I get home.
Oh yeah, I think Thursday, if you're around, we should do like just a 10-minute video just about your first thoughts on the.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be around be around for that.
Then Saturday we're doing a full spoiler discussion about the movie with a lot of guests as well. So I can't wait to discuss it with people. But guys, what's your top 3 Batman movies? Top 3 including Batman v Superman, and top 3 excluding Batman v Superman. Just because it's a solo. I think it's a solo Batman movie, but like it has a lot of characters in it. Like.
Okay,
So,
now.
top 3.
Oh, okay, do we count Zack Snyder's Justice League as well? Since
I don't know. Do we? I don't know how to do that.
We just kind of combine Batman v Superman and Justice League together. They're pretty much the same Batman.
Yeah, I'm talking
All
about
right.
actual. I'm talking about actual movies, like it's individual movies, like which is with I don't know if you include Justice League. Would you, Casey?
I mean, if we are treating it as separate when discussing it, we have to, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like thinking, like okay, mine would be if we're including Batman v Superman and Zack Snyder Justice League, like it would be for a Batman story, probably Batman v Superman first, and then Zack Snyder Justice League second, and then Dark Knight maybe third as Batman stories. But as movies, I would probably have The Dark Knight, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah, mine would be different as well for that. As Batman, I would say definitely BVS had the best Batman. Then we have Zack Snyder's Justice League, obviously, because dude was fucking fighting aliens and shit. And of course, after that would be Batman Begins, maybe.
Jason?
My top is Batman v Superman Batman, the Batman Begins, then the Batman 89. But that might change after the Batman will get released. I have to see which one I can replace with.
Yeah.
Rokan?
So it would be Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, obviously. Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises.
Nice. I think the
So what would
the big difference I think from the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises is Batman gets more power, more presence in Rises than in Dark Knight. In Dark Knight, I think he was just like overshadowed by Joker and everyone else. He was just getting outsmarted. So yeah, I can see why you'd love the Rises Batman.
I just like story-wise. I like the fact that Begins starts his story and Rises ends the story.
Yeah.
What would be your guys' top 3 Batman solo movies? So this is not including Ben Affleck's outings because he had Justice League members. I suppose like it's Batman story. It's just Batman, his rogue gallery. There's nobody else. Like, what's your top 3 favorite?
All right, Batman Begins just because I love the origin story aspect. Dark Knight Rises because I like the story end, and then I would actually put for stories. This is gonna be a little controversial. I'll explain. Batman Forever because I like the idea of Bruce going back to his trauma and reconciling with that.
Yeah. KC, what's your top 3 Batman solo films?
I would put Batman Begins first, and then maybe Dark Knight. And third, I want to pick one of the Burton movies, but I'm not quite sure which one yet because I haven't rewatched them. But either 89 or Returns, one of those. I
Jason, does your
now I would put
yeah?
it.
Is it?
Does yours change then, Jason? Yours was does yours change
It's
at
gonna
all
be
then,
the
or what's
same.
yours?
It's
Gonna
gonna
be
be
the
the
same.
same. Might change since the Batman movie comes out, the new one. Then the story wise, I'll probably flip it around and see.
What's your third favorite Batman movies then? That's not Batman v Superman.
The Batman '89?
Batman, if you Batman 89, you've got Begins and you got Dark Knight. Is that yours?
Nice. We're on the same
I
page.
I'd probably go along with Rokon as well. Like I'd probably number one would be The Dark Knight. Number two would be Batman Returns. I really like that one, but I would put in Batman Forever as my third favorite solo Batman movie, just because I think Val Kilmer is so good in the role, and I like how it's a different tone in the other movies, and it's fun as well. It's a different kind of Batman story, and I think it has some great visual shots in it. So those would be my favorite top three to watch. You know, I think Dark Knight Rises obviously is a better movie than Batman Forever, but my top three enjoyable ones to watch would be Dark Knight, Batman Returns, and Forever.
Well, what about the soundtracks?
Oh,
Soundtracks.
Ooh, this is tough.
for me
I
again, I,
go-
would say
I-
BVS. Yeah.
Okay, so then,
Yeah.
all right, so then
BVS
BVS, BVS, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises.
I'd
same
go
right there.
for BVS, The Dark Knight, and Batman Forever. That's my three.
Ben
Oh,
Forever,
really?
Ben Forever's got a good score, but I like the songs in it more.
I'm
Yeah.
going BVS, Dark Knight, and then Batman Forever. No,
Maybe I might switch Batman
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah.
With,
I was gonna switch. Mine is BVS and then Forever and then Dark Knight because I
Yeah,
like the Forever theme a lot.
yeah, it's amazing. But I might switch it for one of the Burton films then maybe. I haven't done my rewatch in a while. I'm going to do it this week, but then I'll probably know better which one I like more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's our Batman stream.
Jason?
Oh, Jason,
I was
sorry.
agreeing with
Sorry, not.
Roku's list of
Oh, okay.
Batman soundtrack. Yeah,
Yes.
It's awesome.
Cool.
but
yeah.
the Batman Forever has best songs in it. The pop songs. Goes
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
yeah, songs, yeah.
Yeah.
The U2 song, the Seal song, man, and also
Yeah.
I really like the the Flaming Lip song.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like you never really see songs in Batman movies, so it's cool.
That's how I remember Batman Forever with the U2 song. That's how I
Yeah,
remember it.
That was a cool music video, by the way. It's a
Yeah.
cool video.
Like a comic book music video.
Yeah.
do you guys think the Batman, or maybe it's been confirmed, does the Batman have any songs in it?
I think there is the
Really?
the trailer
The
song.
Novara song.
Some
The Nirvana,
Yeah,
the
the
Nirvana song?
Really?
I think so because it's in the playlist on Spotify. So
That
Probably
song
just
is
in the
perfect
trailer,
with it.
yeah, I don't know if
I
it's
love
end credits or whatever, but I don't think it would be in the middle of the movie.
I love when movies have like songs in them, and especially
I mean-
comic book movies. I really love
Yeah.
it. Like
Just
And
as
it's a
the-
sound
I
effect
actually hope-
from the song.
I hope there is an actual song in the Batman movie, in the
Yeah,
actual movie.
I wish we went back to the comic movies because Daredevil and Spider-Man soundtracks would always have so many cool songs.
Yeah.
So like sit through even like Elektra's soundtrack did it as well. Fantastic Four. Like I wish we went back to that.
Oh, do you know what has one of the best ones? Eternals, End of the World songs, plays.
yes,
Yes,
That's
yes.
right. I wish I played a little bit longer, but that was awesome.
that was.
Johnny Cash at the end of Logan was perfect.
Mhm.
There's a few other ones I probably can't think of them though.
Dale
I had the
Soul.
one from
Dale
Sam
Soul. They
Raimi's
used.
one.
Dale Soul. They used in Spider-Man: No Way Home. I thought that Incredible song was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
It was
the three thing.
what it was.
Yeah. Oh, and also,
But the best-
I mean, Hallelujah in well, actually, the Watchmen soundtrack in general, but also Hallelujah at the end.
Oh yeah. Watchmen,
yes.
Watchmen's perfect, and Justice League. Watchmen and Justice League are probably the peak. They got the best songs. They're brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
The best one is definitely Ocean to Ocean from Aquaman.
Sure.
That's, yeah.
And the Flash one too.
Yeah,
Which one's
I don't think I ever felt dumbfounded watching a movie than I did when I heard the Ocean to Ocean and Aquaman. I turned to my friend and said, "What's this shit?"
They're just walking out of the water. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird, but that's a great way to end the Batman stream is Ocean to Ocean.
Yeah.
But the Batman is out.
Love every Batman.
Yeah. Ocean. Well, that's where
We need
Christian
more
Bale's Batman
Superman.
died.
That's true.
Batman is out Friday and Rokan's seeing it tomorrow, so that's awesome. We're getting to see it Friday, and then we'll do a first reaction stream on Thursday and then a full spoiler stream on Saturday. So can't wait to talk about the Batman, everybody. The new
Oh,
Batman.
yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean, you know, it's a new era, man.
Yeah, it
Let's
is.
see how it does. It's the start of a trilogy, hopefully, or maybe we thought that with Batman v Superman. Never know what's going to happen. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed,
Hey.
everything will be okay this time.
Fingers crossed, yeah. And let's hope they actually do let Matt make the movie he wanted to make.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, good review so far, so hopefully.
Oh,
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. It was again lovely to talk to you guys, and you know, even yesterday, it was fun, even with the glitches and stuff. But it was, you know, I liked doing this, and like Fear Jason said today, you should do one for Superman. But I don't know how much we can talk about that because I just hate the old Superman. I just like Man of Steel. And I also kind of like the I kind of like Superman Returns. But yeah. We can do that
Yeah,
when Man
yeah.
of Steel comes out.
If you guys watch Superman and Lois, we can do it.
I don't watch that one. I don't like that one.
I haven't watched it yet, but I mean, if you want to add in the television Supermans, we could also bring in Tom Welling Superman as well.
Oh yeah, that
I
one.
mean,
See, I'll have
I mean-
to. Yeah, I need to watch Superman or Clark and what's that one? The 90s one with Dean Cain. I have to watch that.
Lois and Clark, yeah,
Lois and Clark.
it's not good.
Yeah. I have to finish Smallville. I never finished Smallville.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
Yeah,
you're gonna like
I
it.
never finished it.
how far did you get?
There's so much. I'm only in season 2.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah,
How about
like-
it's good.
Hero?
But there's so much stuff to watch. It's so hard to watch an old show and actually finish it.
Yeah.
Because then I get distracted by trying to watch the new stuff for this show, and it's hard. But yeah, well, in the future we'll definitely do a Superman one. And,
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
All right, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you on Saturday when we'll be talking about Batman.